So we started multiplying exponents yesterday, and today we're just going to take it a little bit further, where it's a power to a power, meaning you're going to have parentheses and it's going to be raised to something. Okay? I'm going to make this bigger so you can see it better. So let's do a few examples before I teach you the rule. Problem number 1. What does problem number 1 say? What does this parentheses to the 5th power mean? It means that you're doing it 5 times itself. So now you have 5 sets of parentheses. So everybody go ahead and draw these. 5 times itself, right? And inside there you have x squared. So if we follow what we learned yesterday, right? And that when you're multiplying exponents, you're really just counting them and adding, right? So if I have 2x's here, and 2x's here, and 2x's here, how many x's do you have in total? 10. X to the 10th power. Okay? Let's do the same thing with problem number 2. How many sets of parentheses am I going to have now? 4, because it's to the power of 4. Okay? So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. And inside there, you're going to just rewrite the same thing over and over and over. So I have m to the 7th power n to the 4th. M to the 7th power n to the 4th. M to the 7th power n to the 4th. M to the 7th power n to the 4th. Right? And then you just count all the m's and you count all the n's. So if I have 7 m's here, 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 and here, how many m's do I have all together? 7 here, plus another 7, plus another 7, plus another 7. So really it's 7 times 4, right? So 28. M to the 28th power. Instead of having to rewrite 28 m's, right? We just multiply. And then how many n's do I have here? 4, another 4, another 4, and another 4 is how many? 16, because it's 4 times 4, n to the 16th power. Okay, do the same thing for problem number 3 real quick. Pause and play when you're ready. Okay, so this one is to the 3rd power. So I don't know if you realized, but we were just multiplying, right? So if this is c to the 1 power, then 1 times 3 is 3, right? And then d is to the 2nd power, but now you're raising it to the 3rd power, so 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, so it's up to you if you want to rewrite the whole thing or if you just want to remember that a power to a power, you're multiplying. So here's the rule up here. If you have something like this, a power to another power, then you just multiply the a and the b. So it will be x to the power of a times b. That's the rule. Okay? Now, what happens when you have coefficients in the front? And remember what a coefficient is? A coefficient is the big number in the front. Right? Coefficient is the big number in the front. So for instance, the 5, the 2, the negative 2, those are all coefficients. So if it has a coefficient, then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to raise the coefficient to the given power. That means you're going to have to use the calculator and you're going to do it to that power. So for instance, this right here is 5 squared, and then the x to the 7th power times 2. 7 times 2 is 14, so that's x to the 14th power. Right? But you still have to raise this in the calculator. So everybody type parentheses, 5 close parentheses, square. And that will give you the number in the front. parentheses 5, close parentheses, to the power of 2. Enter. 25. So the big number in the front, the coefficient, will now be 25 x to the 14th power. Okay? So the exponents you're going to multiply, but the coefficients, you have to raise it to that power. So let's do another one. Problem number 5. You're going to raise the 2 to the power of 5, right? So I have 2 to the power of 5. And then you're going to multiply the exponents. So the x is 2 times 5. 10. The y, that's a 1, right? 1 times 5. So then this one, go ahead and put it in the calculator. Parentheses 2, close parentheses, to the power of 5. And that will give you the coefficient of your answer. To the power of, this button does to the power of whatever you want, and 5, enter. So really, the big number in the front is 32. Because it's like saying 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 32. So we have 32, x to the power of 10, y to the power of 5. You do not multiply the coefficient times the exponent. You don't multiply those two. You just multiply the exponents. So let's see if there's something that's harder. Okay, let's do number 9. In the calculator, you're going to put the parentheses 1/2 to the power of 3, right? And then you're going to multiply the exponents. So my a, 3 times 3 is 9. My b, 4 times 3 is 12. And my c, 5 times 3 is 15. So all I need now is put this in the calculator, math enter, and see what it gives you. So let's go ahead and do that. Parentheses 1/2, 1 divided by 2, to the power of 3. Enter. Gives you a decimal, so you do math, enter, enter, and it gives you the fraction back. So that's 1/8. So my coefficient for the answer is 1/8. A to the 9th power, B to the 12th power, C to the 15th power. Okay? Number 11, I'm not going to do it with you, but that's a -1. So remember, it's -1 to the power of 4. And if you forget to put it in parentheses, you're going to get the wrong answer. Okay? It always has to be in parentheses raised to that power. And then this one stayed the same, right? This one just stays a to the 3rd power because I don't multiply anything. It's not inside the parentheses. Then this a is 2 times 4. That's 8, right? The one inside, 2 times 4, is 8. And then my b, that's a 1 times 4, is 4. So let's reduce everything. I thought I wasn't going to do it, but I guess I am. -1 in parentheses to the power of 4 in the calculator. To the power of 4. Enter. Gives you a +1. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you put it in parentheses, because it will change it either to a positive or a negative depending on how many times you multiply it. So it's going to be +1. How many a's do I have total? I have 3 right here, and I have 8 right here. So I have a total of 11 a's. And how many b's? 4. So this is my answer. Okay? At the very end. One more, number 15, before we go to the back page. I'm going to make this bigger. Okay, so remember from yesterday, we have a minus in the middle, so we're going to worry about that at the very end. We need to make sure that we multiply first before we can subtract anything. So, right here, it says to the fourth power. So I have to do all of this to the fourth power. So 3 to the fourth power. And then multiply my x's. That's 3 times 4 is 12 x's. And then my y, 1 times 4 is 4. Okay? On the other side, this has to go first. So it's 7 to the second power. And then x, 5 times 2 is 10. And y, 1 times 2 is 2. And then multiply times this. Okay. Bring down the minus. We're still not going to subtract because I'm still not done. Put this in the calculator, see what it gives you. Put this one in the calculator, see what it gives you. So I have 81 and 49. 81 and 49. So right here I have 81, x to the 12, y to the 4th. Right here I have 49. And count all the x's. So on this side, how many x's do I have total? 12. X to the 12. How many y's do I have in total? Y to the 4th. Now they're the same, right? So now I can subtract them. So you're going to do 81 minus 49. What does that give you? 32, x to the 12, y to the 4th. Remember, you do not combine those because you're subtracting, not multiplying. Okay? On the back, you're going to have to do, it says to find the perimeter. That means add up all the sides. And the area. So we're going to have to figure out the formulas for different things. So for 16 perimeter, you add up all the sides. So remember, this is 5x squared, and then this is 12x. So I have 5x squared plus 12x plus 5x squared plus 12x. And combine like terms. The x's are going to go with each other. You add them. And then the x squares are going to go with each other. You add those. For area, you're going to do length times width. It's length times width, so this times this. 12x times 5x squared. Remember, you multiply the exponents, and then you count how many x's you have. Okay? So for number 17, just add up all the sides. And for the area for a triangle is the length times the base, or the width, divided by 2. So it's going to be 4a squared b times 3ab all over 2, divided by 2. Number 18, same thing, add up all the sides. I'm just going to say that this, let's just say this is an equilateral triangle, so all the sides are 20m cubed n to the 5th power. So 20m cubed n to the 5th power, and this side's also 20m cubed n to the 5th power. So add up all of those. That's for the perimeter.